Hey guys, and welcome back to Regrexit. Brexit England, Northern Ireland, and Eastern Europe. And in Brexit England, there are people. I was out on the weekend, and there are people using candlelight in their houses. I saw at least four houses, right, using candlelight. We've got talk of people um, going to the supermarket and buying barbecues to use inside their house. And I say, well, that's quite dangerous, yeah. Because if you're doing that, you really need to mind out for carbon monoxide poisoning, right? But this is 2022, right? In Great Britain, right? Apparently the fifth largest economy in the world, right? How has this country, right, got into this state? Ask yourself that. What has happened? What has happened for this country to be where it is right now? It's in a disgusting place. And also, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages you sent me. And a special thanks here to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up. So thank you so much for that. I'll go through all your messages. I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all your messages for definite. And the Tories' answer, right, to people having candlelight to light up their houses, right, was for the Tories to throw another very exclusive bash, right, in Claridge's. Right, this was 2 days after, right, the party that they threw in the other fancy hotel, right, on the day when the police decided they was going to start sending out the fines, right. They had another party 2 days after in Claridge's, right, while people, right, are having to put stuff back, right, when they go to the supermarket counter because they haven't got enough money to buy the food in that they put in their basket. It's not that their eyes are bigger than their belly. It's not that. It's not that at all. It's just that they need that food and they can't afford it. Right. But these guys can go to Claridge's, right, where a bottle of table wine is £60. One bottle. Right. So this is who you're dealing with. Anyway, I'm just me. I'm just as I keep telling you, right. I'm finding this quite amusing. I really am finding this all amusing because I just think the people of this country, yeah, you have just you've walked into this. You have allowed them to do this to you. You've allowed them to do it. There's a genocide going on right on our doorstep. We are watching a genocide in the Ukraine. All right, some of the things that I've seen over the weekend, right? Some of the pictures that I've seen, right? Because obviously the Russians are leaving a lot of the towns now, or they've been chased out a lot of the towns, to be honest. And what's being left behind, right? I've seen videos of bodies just all over the streets, and you know men with their hands tied behind their back and shot in the back of the head. Right? It really is horrendous. Right? What is going on? And I just can't believe that I'm seeing this in my lifetime now, right? Because this is all this is all stuff from from the 1930s. With the genocide on Jewish people. This is a genocide that we're watching. We're openly watching this in the Ukraine, right? The women and children's bodies just scattered, just on the floor, just like garbage, just like rubbish. Do you know what I mean? Just you have to wonder what kind of human being, right, could do this type of thing. I mean, yeah, these people might have been fighting back, right? But in the first place, as a soldier, you had no right to be there, right? And then you've went and you've slaughtered civilians, I don't understand how, I don't, that type of mindset, right? And they haven't even started digging up the, because there's obviously there's going to be huge, right, um, graves, like mass graves. It's going to be a huge amount of mass graves. I mean, we are talking a serious amount here, because if they've just left all those bodies just scattered just all over the street, right? Then what they're going to uncover is going to be, and the Russians are saying that that they left all those people, and all those people was alive. That's what the Russians are telling. Obviously, that's what they're telling their people. But Putin is like, he's a crazed individual, right? The world hasn't seen anyone this crazy since Adolf Hitler. I mean, you have to wonder what the hell is going on in this man's mind for him to send his soldiers out, his army out, to go and do this to his next door neighbors. I mean, this is psychopathic behavior. But we're in a world where you kill one person, you go to prison for 30 years, and you can kill thousands and tens of thousands and millions of people, and sometimes they give you a Nobel Peace Prize. So this, I mean, the people around him as well. I mean, because it's not, this is not only Putin, the people around him, right? So you have to say, well, what are you thinking? Because you've got to know exactly what's going on, because they will have live feed videos going right back to the Kremlin. Right. So their soldiers, that's what their soldiers will have. They will have live feed videos going right back to the Kremlin. So the Kremlin will know exactly what their soldiers are doing. It's like, if when the Pentagon are doing their thing, right? They've always got live feed, and they've had it for years. So they can see exactly what's going on, right? So they know what they know at all times. Right, so you can imagine that the Russians have got exactly the same thing. So they can see, the politicians and the generals. They can all see exactly what's going on, and this is, we talk about a nation of psychopathic people, because this is sick what they're doing. It is really, really sick. Just unbelievable. And poor old Will Smith, the fallout continues. Right, and just as I said, right, because if you're going to upset somebody, don't make it the world's comedians. That's not a good. That right there, is not a good look, because comedians are like MCs, all stick together, right? You're an outsider, right? I'm talking about an outsider from not being an MC. Right, so an outsider, right? If you're an outsider to the MCs and you upset an MC, there's a good chance there's a lot of MCs are going to start taking aim at you and writing lyrics, right, about you, derogative lyrics, right? And the world comedians are exactly this. I've just found out they're exactly the same. They're a bitter bunch. They're not taking what Will Smith done well at all. Right? These people are very upset, and can you blame them? Because he's put every comedian at risk, obviously, because people in comedy clubs now are going to think to themselves, I'm gonna jump up on the stage and do Will Smith. Right, so you're gonna get some, we could be talking about thousands of copycats all over the world, because it's everybody, virtually everybody in the world has seen what's happened. So so hitting a comedian on stage and being like the one of the world's most famous actors is not going to go down well, was never ever going to go down well for you, right? And having a narcissist sat next to you, right, was always going to be was always going to be a downfall, because you're talking about, like, a woman who has completely humiliated this man. He has been humiliated on numerous occasions by this woman, right? you know Over the weekend, right, I've had to do a bit of research, because most of these people, yeah, I don't know anything about their life in the first place, right? I don't know anything about their life. I didn't know about about Jay's red table talk or whatever it was. I didn't really know about those things. Do you know what I mean? I might, there's bits that you hear in passing, but it's never something that I've decided I'm going to sit down and have a look at. But unfortunately for Will Smith, yeah, what he's done, right, is he's put his wife's name in everybody's mouth. Right, I suppose rather that than her knockers. Right, but with that, now everybody is looking into these two's life. I mean, if Jada just laughed it off, yeah, G.I. Joe, yeah, because of the ball, yeah, it would have been it would have been no big thing. Right? But now they've put themselves on offer to every single comedian all over the world, right? And believe me, right, after watching like stuff about them on the weekend, right, I got to a stage where I was thinking to myself, please stop sharing, please stop sharing, because you could see that Will Smith is like he's completely just like he's battered. He's like this man is an icon, a sex symbol, a worldwide hero, right? And in his real life, he is a battered bum, right, who lives, right, in a trailer park. In his real life, that's who he is, right? But obviously you have to take away the millions of dollars. If you take all that away, that's who he is, right? So he is just a regular Joe, right, being battered down, right, by a woman who's a narcissist. Unfortunately for him, right? You know, I just look and think, well, these are smart people, and smart people have a foresight, right? And they can foresee things in the seconds that they're happening, right? When I watched that, it just took a second to click into gear how much damage he's done to his career. I knew straight away that this was going to ruin him, absolutely. Right, I'm hoping it's not for good, because I really do actually like Will Smith. I think he's a fantastic actor. And but this really is just ruinous for his career, right? Because now, I mean, if he doesn't need therapy, right, after this one weekend so far, from what I've seen the comedians, because I mean the comedians have just been ripping into him. And to Jada, I mean, and if he's seen some of the things that I've seen, right, he's gonna probably be like curled up in a ball, right, in his extremely beautiful mansion, right, because he has been absolutely destroyed, right. I mean, all over the internet, he's just, I mean, you just the amount of videos. I mean, there's just millions of them now. There's thousands and thousands, right? And obviously there are people who are trying to come out in support of Will Smith, but they're stupid people, because the only angle that you can look at this as, it's not a black or white issue, it's not a left or right issue. Only issue is, right, a man got up, right, and slapped another man, right, in front of the world. That's what the issue is. There's nothing else, right? There's nothing else, right? Everything else is all secondary. That's what the issue is, right? And that was never ever going to go down well. Just was always going to be. It was always going to be the worst thing you could ever do. As smart people, Jada should have stopped him. Right, going back a bit further, Jada should have laughed it off. Right, she should have never allowed that situation to get to that, because her look, right, not the way she looks, her look, the way she looked at Will Smith, right, determined, right, the rest of his career. I'm hoping it's not the rest of his career, but from now, I mean, you know, he's been cancelled by Netflix, cancelled by Sony. You know, Bad Boys 4 is, you know, Bad Boy 4 has been put on hold. You know, so everything's just gone completely wrong for them. Just completely wrong. And I mean, and the comedians, as I said, the comedians of the world, they are really taking aim, and they are firing. They've turned their cannons onto these two people. Right? And it's not going to go well for them. Over the weekend, there were some massive demonstrations, yeah, over obviously the cost of living crisis, right? And obviously, they were demonstrating so that Rishi Sunak, right, can try and help people out a little bit more, right? But unfortunately for them, Rishi Sunak was in his big house in California, so he was monitoring it from California, right? Probably on the internet. He was probably just looking on the internet, saying, "Oh yeah, because you see those, yeah, they're at Whitehall, they're at Whitehall, and they're demonstrating, right, about Rishi Sunak, right, who's in his lovely house in California." I say, and do you motherfuckers deserve this shit? Yes, you do, right? Because you obviously think, well, no, Rishi Sunak, right, the working class hero. That's how you must be looking at it. And he's done so much, and he's done so well for all of us that, you know, he's right to go to his lovely house in California, right, while the people of this country, right, are using candlelight, barbecues, right, to cook in their house. But oh, fine. I mean, you know, I'm quite sure that the people who voted, right, for this knew exactly what they was voting for, right? Voting for a man whose wife is richer than the Queen, but decided, oh, I need furlough money. Do you know what, yeah? As Rishi Sunak has proved, has proved, right, it's not a good idea, right, to start saying to people, keep my wife's name at your motherfucking mouth, because that's what Rishi Sunak said. And now all of a sudden everybody's looking into his wife, right? And it turns out, yeah, his wife took furlough money for her workers. So the woman's richer than the motherfucking Queen, and she took furlough money for her workers. Now you understand why it was, yeah, that the Tories were so quick to bring in the furlough. I mean, the Chancellor's wife took furlough money. Do you think they ever had the conversation? Do you think she was going, oh God, my God, what am I going to do? Oh God, this pandemic is going to cost us like, oh God, maybe 7 or 8 million. Oh, what are we going to do? 7 or 8 million. I know we've got over £1 billion in the bank, but still, 7 million out of £1 billion is going to hurt. That's what his wife was probably saying to him in bed. And Rishi's there like, yes, well, I am in charge of the economy, and my wife is going to lose maybe 7 or 8 million. I mean, she's got £1 billion. Should I give everybody furlough money so I could secretly make sure that my wife gets some furlough money as well? I'm telling you, like, the lack of ethics in this country is just, it's quite sickening, isn't it, really? Just a complete lack of ethics, right? People have been praising this man. Oh, he was so... He gave us all furlough. Yeah, he gave you furlough, yeah, because he wanted to give his motherfucking wife furlough. Right? How the hell, right, is it a man whose wife is richer than the Queen claiming furlough in the first place? I mean, people like, Richard Branson, right, and the Sunaks claiming furlough because, if his wife's claiming furlough, this means that the Chancellor of the Exchequer was claiming furlough. right? Because they are a partnership, right? Yeah, I know that she apparently she got like £14 million or £12 million, right, last year, right, and the Chancellor never actually knew that his wife got 12 or £14 million. And said, well, okay, well that's fair enough. I mean, who wouldn't know if your wife, if your wife received 14 million? That's probably one source. Your wife received £14 million. I mean, who wouldn't know? It's not something it's not something, right, that you would probably speak to your husband about. You'll probably go home and say, oh, well, my nails need doing again. But that's who you voted for, so I'm quite sure you knew exactly what you were voting for. Our ports are blocked up. Obviously, we're going into Easter, so this was always going to be a very difficult time for us. But you see, with P&O, the whole P&O debacle, right, and obviously the war in Ukraine, and then the pandemic, Partygate, God, that's quite important, Partygate, right, and Brexit. What the hell was you expecting? What was you expecting? Our ports, right, are in dire straits right now, right? They are breaking under the weight of traffic. There is I've just seen pictures on the M20, yeah, and the bitch is stacked up. When I tell you stacked up, I mean the shit is stacked up. Right? If you're anywhere near there, if you was even thinking about going there, right? If it was even in your dreams, right? Don't let it happen. Right? Seriously, don't let it happen. Because you know what, yeah? You're going to be sat in that queue and you're going to be thinking to yourself, I want to kill a motherfucker right now. Right? I want to get out of this car, right? And go and beat a motherfucker to death. Right? Because this shit is serious. That's what's going through your mind. Because the shit is serious out there, right? And I'm telling you right now, the majority of this is down to Brexit. 95% of it is down to Brexit. The other 5% is all the other things. The war in the Ukraine, the pandemic, Partygate, and whatever else I mentioned, right? But 95% of it is down to Brexit. Because right now, yeah, I can guarantee you that the French, they're not helping. Not at all. No way. You want to go through Dover, right? I guarantee you, right, that the French are making sure that things are as difficult as they can possibly make it. And do I blame the French? No. I blame us. Well, you. Because this is your fault, right? Because of the ridiculous way you have voted in this country for all these years. And what's happened, yeah, is the chickens are now all coming home to roost. In 2022, it's a perfect storm over Great Britain, right? That's what's happening to us, right? Because all the selling off, right, of all of our amenities, selling off of everything, right? The privatizations, it's all coming to bite right now. That's what's happening, and that's the reason why, right? That's the reason why £700 on your bill, right? And for these guys, wow, it's just nothing for them, right? But for us, it's crushing. It's disturbing for us. For them, because they was never ever gonna feel it. Never ever. They have never ever done anything to make your life better. Nothing. They've taken away everything from us, right? These people have closed down most of our libraries, right? These people, right, are savage in the way how they've governed this country. I'm not just talking about the Johnson government. I'm going back 100 years now, right? And you look at the complete sell-off, right? People using candlelight. This is not 1722, 1822, 1922, when people were still actually using candlelight in this country, right? But you know, that shit really finished, right? Really did finish in the late 60s. People wasn't, you know, because obviously, electric was, and because remember in this, in this country, they never had, they didn't have bathrooms in houses when they first built houses. It was all outside, right? So that's how far forward we've come, right? But these people have taken us back to candlelight. To candlelight. That's what they've taken us back to, right? In 2022. In what's said to be the 5th largest economy in the world. I know I've gone well over my time, but you know what? I'm just going to run with this, right? It was supposed to be the 5th largest economy in the world. These people, right, have destroyed this once great nation. Destroyed it. Has Brexit, pollution, and the pandemic killed off the shellfish industry? Yes. Yes, it has. And it was always going to do that as well, right? Because when you allow people to pollute your waters, what are you expecting? Fish to be able to live? Fish to be able to live in there? Fish don't live with shit. I know they might eat it, right? But it's not going to do any good, right? Because they might eat it and then come back into the human. Then after that, it can't really go back into the human food chain after that. How can it? Right. So yes, Brexit, right? Pollution. Not. I don't know why they mentioned the pandemic in that, but Brexit and pollution, because Brexit and pollution in this country are one in the same. Right. We've got Brexit, so they're polluting our waters. See, one in the same. Right? And President Macron is warning the French, don't be like the British, right? And vote in some type of Brexit government, because we've all seen what's happening in Great Britain. That's what Macron's telling the French, right? See how they could use us as a warning and say, well, we don't want to do, because you don't want to be like those people. Anyway, guys, look, I've got to wrap this up now. I think this is a really depressing time, especially in Europe, right? The horrendous war what we've got going on, and England with Brexit, right, is the worst solution that's ever happened in this country, right? And that's the reason why everything in this country, right, is just gone completely downhill. I mean, really far downhill too. Anyway, guys, look, this is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.